Not every day you can walk on your walls.
Alright guys, so it's the evening. We had 3 rock trucks come today. We have a total of 8 shipments of rocks that are coming from the quarry. And we had the first 3 today, and then we have 5 tomorrow morning. So it's episode 7 of Limestone Hone, and finally we get to see some limestone. So these are some of the blocks we'll be using. You can see, you can get the size for them. So these are the big boys. These are 5 feet by a 1.5 feet by 2 feet tall. And we have other ones that are stacked around here, kind of sparsely right now. But tomorrow, this whole hill is gonna fill up with rocks. I was gonna take a minute to talk about kind of what we're gonna do. So let me put this here. And put this here. So these are the plans I've drawn up. The way I've done it is I have 5 sheets, and it goes from block layer 1 to block layer 5. So this is block level 1. Then it goes to block level 2, and so on. So you can see here I have these letters, A, D, E, B, etc. In this case, this is level 2, block level 2, and I have 4 different size blocks. I have A blocks, B blocks, D blocks, and E blocks. A is the full size kind of one that normally comes from the quarry. Those are the generic 5 foot long ones. That's what these plans are sitting on right now. This is a 5 foot block. So that's the way this house is laid out. I kind of drew it, so it's gonna be like basically like building a Lego house, kind of. Each layer has, you know, a certain blocks, and then I have the legend over here. We have 5 layers. So tomorrow what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through all the blocks in the morning and in the afternoon once we get all the deliveries, and I'm going to be labeling them with their corresponding letter. So kind of what's happening right now is if we look at these blocks that we're standing in right now, these are all 5 foot blocks. You can see that the top is sawn flat. So the top and bottom are sawn flat. The bases are rough, and the sides are also sawn. So it makes it nice for stacking because we stack them. It's gonna be, you know, these are really nice flat surface for stacking. The sides are mostly flat so they can butt up really close to each other. And then the faces are left natural, kind of rough. So another thing to note is, you know, these are varying thicknesses. The standard, you know, our order is 18 inches, a 1.5 feet thick. And most of these are 18 inches, but you can see like ones over here. This is a 14 inch. And I think it just happens to be how they break it out of the wall at the quarry. Some of them come out at 14 inches. So we did order extra of each size of block. So either ones like this we won't use, or if we have to use them, they're gonna be at the top because we wanna put the fattest stones at the bottom and kind of put the skinniest stones at the top. So we have A blocks, we have, I don't know what letters those are, but we have all different sorts of blocks. We can kind of look over here at this one. See, these are a little bit shorter. These are about, I think these are 3 feet 5 inches. And then we have these are my D blocks, I think. I'll have to look at my plans, but you can see that actually this is they're on their side right now. So this is the top. So, and then we have a bunch over here too. So the total order of stones was 189. And I think today we have about 60 or so. I haven't counted them all. But, you know, we have them here and we have them on the side over there. So what we'll be doing tomorrow is we're going to start filling up the center here. So this big open area, this is going to be all filled with blocks tomorrow. So, you know, limestone is a kind of a weird thing because, you know, we're out in Texas. But actually, if you know what the origins of limestone are, it's compacted plant matter seashells, etc. from the seafloor. So all this stuff is from the seafloor, which is kind of weird. It's an ancient seafloor. But I was looking around, I'm trying to find some fossils. You can see right here, that's a fossil of a shell. They're all over the place. They're kind of everywhere. When you start looking at these stones, you start finding fossils everywhere. So it's kind of weird to think that you're building your house out of like ancient, prehistoric seafloor.
Crustaceans.
Yeah, crustaceans and other stuff like that. Let's see if we can find another fossil. Yeah, it makes me think that all this stuff is like, you know.
Might have been something.
Look, see, like that's something right there. This is like all weird, like something was on the. Definitely like not fossil, but.
Something.
Outlines of.
Here's another shell thing.
So, I know I've talked about the weight of the stones before, but to give you an idea, this stone is 5 feet long by 2 feet deep by 1.5 feet. That's 15 cubic feet. If you take that times the density of limestone, which is 171 pounds per cubic foot, that's 2,500 pounds. So these two stones together weigh 1,000 more pounds than a Ford F-150. And we're gonna have 104 of these big ones in the walls. And then we're gonna have about 80 or so smaller sizes. So you can think we have in the walls the weight of 50 or more Ford F-150s. Basically an entire used car park. Alright, hey, what's up guys? So it's the day after we got all our stones delivered. In the past 2 days we had 9 trucks. The first day we had 3 trucks, which wasn't bad. The second day, yesterday, we had 6 trucks come in the course of 3 hours. And we were running about 45 minutes to unload each truck, so it was kind of got a bit chaotic fielding all these 18-wheelers on our backcountry road. But we got it done. So I'm standing on all the blocks right now. They're over here too, so there's quite a few. What I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm measuring all the blocks. We have 6 different sizes, and I've kind of labeled them in my plans A through F. A blocks, B blocks, etc. And each letter corresponds to a different size. So like the walls are always 1.5 feet thick, and the height of each block is always 2 feet, but then the length is varying, and that's the difference in the letters. So you can see behind me, some of them are labeled A, some of them are labeled F, etc. So we got 9 trucks. It worked out to be, I think, about 214 blocks total. We have extra. We have about 25 extra of the large blocks, the 5-footers, and then we have a few extra of every size. The 5-footers, if we have to, get another size, we can always cut one. So, it's funny because I can sit at my desk and I can design a house like this, and I can say, oh yeah, we'll use these limestone butterstick blocks and it'll be fine, and it'll be really cool, and the walls will be really thick. And I'll probably need to get the slab engineered because there's gonna be a lot of weight on it. I made a comment in an earlier video. I said I thought the slab was over-engineered using number 6 rebar, but man, when these trucks come in and we were offloading them, the weight is, it's one thing to think about it and see pictures of it, and we've seen them in person, but we've never tried to move them around. They are so heavy. Each one of these weighs as much as a small car, probably the bigger ones. So it's like stacking an entire car lot on an 1,800 square foot slab. So I retract my statement earlier about number 6 rebar being overkill. Seeing these things here and offloading them, and we dropped a few of them. You can just, I mean, just the weight is so much. So anyway, so I just got through measuring and making sure all the custom sizes were delivered. We got our mortar delivery yesterday. We got 2 pallets of white spectrum. That's what we'll be using to mortar all the stones together. We got the crane delivered. Behind me, we have a skid steer delivered to move these blocks around. All right, I was just gonna mention one more thing. These stones. So these are the 5-footers. What I'm noticing from the quarry is the ones that we asked to be custom cut, they were on the dot, within probably like almost a 16th, quarter in some cases, of an inch. So they're really close. These 5s though, you can see, we measure, this one is, I don't know if you can see, it's 5 feet 1 inch, 61 and an eighth or so. So it's over 5 feet. If we go to this one, it's a little bit under 5 feet. And you can see the thickness. This one is almost 20 inches thick. And this one is 15 inches thick. So we made our brick ledge 20 inches thick. So, you know, we have some that are over 20 inches thick, and we have some that are like 12 to 14 inches thick. We'll discard the ones that are 12 to 14 inches thick. Those are too thin to use. But the ones that are really fat, we'll probably put over doors or something like that. So the stone above the door is kind of like a header, and it sticks out a little bit on both sides. So it's good to have extra. Let's see this. So this one is, yeah, see, this was two inches under. So the way we designed the house is, you know, since I was unsure about these rock sizes, I designed it so that gaps between the rocks when we stack them are 2 inches. And which is fine. Basically, when we start stacking, we'll have enough blocks to choose from. You know, 1 inch under, 2 inches under, or, you know, 2 inches over, 5 feet, etc., to kind of find the right size stone to fit the gap. But anyway, so that's just kind of how it goes with stone. It's imperfect building material. You know, there's some interesting things like this. Let me get my shadow out of the way. You can see there's like a big, you know, ledge on these. So the surfaces are uneven, and the sides are sawn flat, and the tops are sawn flat, which is really nice because it makes a nice, easy surface to stack on. So over the next week, we'll probably just be moving these around, getting them in place. We're gonna move them around the slab, I'm thinking, and kind of, you know, get them in position so they're really easy to stack. That crane doesn't seem to drive too fast. It's kind of slow, so probably the best thing to do is to move them into place using a skid, and then, or, you know, move them around the slab using a skid, and then just sit the crane in one spot or a couple spots and lift them into place. So, all right, hey guys, so we're out here. You can see there's a crane behind me. I think they call those a spider crane. So that's gonna be what we're using to stack the walls. I say we, but actually we're having a subcontractor come and stack the walls for us, since it's unknown territory for me. So the sub, he came and dropped off his crane. You can see it has a big rock grapple attachment on it, and they've started to move some blocks into place. I think tomorrow we'll set down the base layer, the first layer. They came through today, and they marked out the doors and windows. So you can see here, window, 2 lines, and then door here. So actually, on the front of the building, we have 3 doors. This is the center door, and we have 2 windows. So three doors, 2 windows, 3 windows, 3 windows on that side, and on the back we have 2 doors, and I can't remember, 2 windows, I think. Yeah, I think something like that. I have to look at my plans again. But anyway, the most important thing is, like, they get the first layer down. It will sort of set the spacing for where the doors are going to be. And then once they get that first layer down, they can mark where the windows are going to be. And I said we could put down the first layer, and then we're going to wait till next week to start doing the rest. Just because the concrete's been curing right now about 10 days, and I don't really want to put any more than one layer of stone on. So we're going to come back next week and do the rest. And we think the stacking of the walls is going to take about a week, so it's not that long. And then another week for mortar after that. I mentioned before that the rocks, they have a various thickness. They can come in 20 inches, or they can come in 14 inches I've seen. So the ones that are too fat, what he's been doing is, some of these have a really nice natural cleavage plane through them. So you can see that this one, I think it was too fat. It was around 20 inches. And they took a rock chisel and they kind of chiseled at it, and they basically cleaved off the whole face. So the ones that are too fat, some of them, they're going to do that. They're going to cleave them. And then some of them we're going to leave fat, and we're going to put them over doors and windows as a header. So they're kind of just right now, they came this morning, they kind of got a feel of, what kind of blocks we got delivered. And they started moving some blocks around, and they started making some measurements and cleaving some. So I think tomorrow is when we'll actually start putting on the first layer. So we'll film then.